I'm even changing my disposition for this one, right? Flour sack. You ready? Flour sack is my favorite animation to do. I know it sounds so silly, but I really love the flour sack. The flour sack is one of the few animations that you simply take something that shouldn't be moving, right? A sack of flour, and now you're gonna give it some personality. You use the top two ties as little arms, and it's like, hey, okay, all right, that was a terrible that was terrible, but you understand what I'm trying to say, right? And then you have the two little ties at the lower end of the flour sack. Those can be the little feet. You can give it a lot of personality. If I were you, I'd go out onto YouTube and I'll see what are people doing with their flour sack animation. You'll be so surprised. You can do so many emotions with this bag of flour, right? And that's why I love the flour sack so much. So it's very difficult, because what I want you guys to do a jumping flour sack. So literally what we've learned from the bouncing ball, we're gonna apply that now to the flour sack, doing the anticipation and then jumping up and then bouncing over to the next end and falling, right? But this is one of my favorites. The next difference with this animation is that we're using reference from someone else. So we aren't gonna be, I'm not gonna say we can't do the reference videos. You can create your own, but we're gonna actually use reference as in the key poses from someone else. A lot of times in animations, it's in the field of animation, especially as a newbie. So you're working for a studio, it's your first time working in a studio. The likelihood is the animators or the senior animators are gonna be up here, and you're gonna be down here, right? We usually call you like junior animators, or you're just animators, and then you have senior animators, right? And you get the grunt work. That's the truth, okay? So what that does, though, it builds your skill. So the senior animators, they would give you the key poses, and then now you are to fill in the in-betweens and the breakdowns and all of those jazz, right? So this tutorial is gonna test you on that. You're gonna be receiving the key poses, and then now you have to fill in the breakdowns and the in-betweens. So that's another reason why I like this tutorial. It feels like, all right, I'm a junior animator and I'm getting something from the senior animator, and I'm working in studio, even though you're not, right? So let's take a look at that one. All right. Hi everyone, this is the breakdown for the flour sack. Yes! Flour sack! Woo! Okay, I did already say it's my favorite. I said that already, so I don't know why you're getting so surprised by my excitement. All right, so for this exercise, you're gonna need 21 sheets of paper. But by now you should know I won't be using 21 sheets of paper, right? Right? You know that, right? All right. I'm just doing a few so that to get you started, and then you're gonna complete the exercise. All right. So the first thing I'm gonna first thing I'm gonna do is a timing chart, of course. One of the cool things that I like about this exercise is that we're using a specific reference, and as I was saying before, with the senior animator, most of the time that's what happens. They draw the key poses, and then as a junior animator will have to come in and do the in-betweens, right? So that's one of the things that I like, really like about the flour sack. So here our reference gives us the key poses, and he gives us the timing chart already, and I'm assuming a he, I don't know why. I guess because the industry is filled with men. Come on ladies, let's just pack up this industry, give these guys a run for their money. No? Yeah, okay. Right. So pretty similar to the bouncing ball. So I'm just gonna draw an arc again. Remember, I'm just planting my hand. Keeping my hand in one spot so I can get that nice arc, right? Alright. So this bouncing ball is pretty similar to, sorry, the flour sack is pretty similar to the bouncing ball. You guys know when I'm hungry, I start to talk all sorts of foolishness. So I'm not saying I'm hungry right now. I'm just saying I'm getting real close to there, right? So this flour sack is very similar to bouncing ball. Now, if you look on the reference, we have some anticipation. So we're actually, in addition, so I have a little attachment, and I'm gonna show the height. And I'm gonna show the height as well. So drawings 1 to 5, or I should say 1 to 6, will happen on this line. All right, and then drawings, let's say 1 to 5 happens on the line, and then drawing 6 to 21 will happen on, well, drawings 6 to 16 will happen on the arc, and then we have 17 to 21 is gonna happen somewhere around this area. All right, so let's make this a little bit darker. All right, it's the same thing again. We're gonna go halfway, midpoint, midpoint, midpoint. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, midpoint. So very, very teeny. And then we have 6. It's gonna be much larger. All right, and coming around. Now again, just like what we did with the bouncing ball, we have our starting point and our end point. And we went midway, midway, midway. All right, so 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. No, so we have another one. Midway. And we have midway, 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 and midway. And remember, again, we're making sure we're consistent. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4 between the 2 key points, and again 1, 2, 3, 4 between the 2 key points, right? All right. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Let's put 6 here. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 should be the pinnacle. 12, 13, 14, 15, and then here we have 16. And then I'm purposefully not showing you what's gonna be happening between 16 and 21 because I want you guys to figure out that, okay? All right, now we have a little bit of anticipation happening when that flower sac is gonna prepare for the jump. What that means is he starts out in a regular jumping position. Now for you guys, let me just tear it down like that. I've always suggested to you with the flower sac, it should be 2 ovals. That's what we start out with the flower sac. 2 ovals. Right? And that's the regular stance for the oval, and that's drawing 1. 2 ovals. All right. Soon, it shall soon come to life. Okay, remember I said I was at the point where I was looking at hunger. Now I know I'm hungry. I just felt a little tingle in my tummy, so I'm gonna move real quick with this one. Right, so for drawing 2, all right, what I should do is let you see drawing 1. Bum, bum, bum. You want to maintain the volume. You want to maintain the volume, just like what we did with the bouncing ball with these ovals. So by the time we get to 2, it's going to be a little bit broader. The height is going to be shorter. So the height will be here. We can drop, but it's going to be wider than the original. So wider. And then we just draw the oval. And then for 3, again, we're just going to take it wider because we want it to maintain the same volume. So we're just going a little wider. It's now going to be half the height. It's going to be wider. And we're still trying to maintain the volume. There, and we draw the oval again. Alright, here we go. Alright, so I'm not gonna bother do the others, but the important thing is you want to do these ovals, and you want to do the oval even for the jump, because that's what's gonna give you the shape of the flower sac. Afterwards, you can go back. I don't need a timing chart anymore. Afterwards, you can go back. There is my blue. And now you can trace it over, and you get your flower sac. Now his legs, you have to look at what's happening with his legs. So his legs would be pressed. And his hands just, and we could give him a little belly if anything. All right. And there we have our flower sac. And it's the same thing we would do. So we'll go back to drawing 2. I didn't label, by the way. And again, remember what I was saying to you with pose to pose, it's not just halfway in space, but halfway in what is happening with the object. So the last position, the hands would be in like that. So we know we want it to be moving from this. We want it to be moving from it just slightly up to where it's moving, to where it's completely inside. So what that means is, well, about here for the hands will be good. And that's why you do these pencil tests, so you can test out these drawings and see, you know, am I on point? Am I on point with my thought process with this animation? The legs would still be pressed on the ground, and we can still give him a little belly. And same thing for the next drawing, and so on and so forth. Ow! I think I got a paper cut a while ago. So now the hand starting to go in. Give him a little belly again, and of course a little bit hard, so it's giving me a little bit of difficulty, but nonetheless. And you go on and on until he's totally squished for drawing 5, and then he's completely stretched for drawing 6. One of the things that I want you to make note of is when he's in the air, so let me carry back the timing chart. When he's in the air, at some point, so at one point his legs are facing in that direction. Right? At some point, the legs need to rotate. So by the time he gets to drawing 16, the legs are facing up like that. All right. So I want you guys to figure that out on your own. And then when he lands at 16, what happens between 16 to 21 for him to fall on his back? All right. So I know this sounds like I'm torturing you, but animation, part of animation is thinking out the process. So that's what I want you to do. Try and figure it out. I know you can do it, don't worry. I'm not giving you something that you can't handle. Everything that you've done before, the bouncing ball, the wave cycle, the pendulum, all of that contributes to how you can apply that knowledge to this breakdown. All right, so that's it. All right, so welcome to creating the pencil test for the flower sack animation. Woo! Yeah! No, nobody's excited like I am. All right, fine. Go ahead then. All right, so I already have my stop motion studio already active, and I have my drawings queued up. So same steps again. Nothing has changed. It's the same motion. I'm taking the photo, making sure my drawing number is included. So the drawing, both the drawing and the drawing number needs to be included in your photo. I don't know if you remember what happened to me in the last pencil test with the wave cycle, but I wouldn't have been able to track those drawings if I didn't have the drawing numbers included. And again, so I only did 3 drawings for my flower sack. So again, that's it for me. Wait a second. None of them took. Look at that. Let me press play, because I'm sure it took nothing took. No, Murphy, I'm not working with you today. So they're there, because it's like they're there. Oh, it's just playing with me. It's playing with me. It's there. Oh my goodness. All right. So again, save your project, export it, ensure to give it an appropriate file name, export it as a video, export all images, and if you want to, export it as an animated GIF. All right. Good luck. All right. So welcome to the flower sack animation using Toon Boom Harmony. All right, so I'm gonna call mine flower sack. As you can see, I'm using Harmony 10.3. Set my dimensions, create, turn off running man. Create my arc. We all know this by now, and we've done this by using already in the pencil test and the breakdown, so we know exactly what we should be doing by now, right? Alright, again, we already got our reference, so we know this one is going to take 21 frames. So again, 21. And as I had advised you before, you want to create one with 2 circles, right? Oh, I forgot to put my lines. Okay. So we have the first 6 frames will be at the beginning of the arc, and then we have 7, 8, 9, 10 down to 15 on the arc, and then 16 to 21 will again be on the other side of the arc. So 1, 2, 5. We're gonna make 6 a little bit higher. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And again, we know how to seven, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. Great. Oh, it's one of the worst 10s ever written. 15. And then we have 16 landing here. 6. And again, you can create a straight line on this. I'm leaving you to do this on your own. All right, as before, you know, I'm not gonna do all of this exercise with you. I'm just giving you enough to guide you, right? So again, did I create a circle? None of you could have told me that I touched the wrong thing. My goodness. All right. It's horrible, Chevy. All right. Alright, so that's my flower sack. It doesn't have to be a perfect circle, because remember, these circles are just guides into what the... Oh my goodness, I did it again. Full disclosure, all I am hungry, so that could be the reason why I'm doing these terrible decisions. So what I did a while ago, I simply left clicked on the frame and I dragged it over. I didn't release the left mouse button and I dragged it over, okay, because it was in the wrong position a while ago. All right, so now go back to my brush, and I'm going to turn on my onion skins, of course. Sorry, so I don't want to create 2. I don't want to create 2 next. What I need to create is 5. So I'm gonna, 5 is supposed to be very squished. Oh dear, very squished. This one is very exaggerated, right? And now, once I move it over, duplicate drawing. I can do many things, but today I'm just gonna do a delete. And simply now, I've created drawing 1, I've created drawing 5, and now I need to do the midpoint. So, it might feel as though I created one exact same size. So I need to create 2 halfway between 1 and 5. I think I created 5 too narrow. So I'm just gonna recreate it. See, what's happening is the width of the width of the top should be wider than the width of 1, right? And the width of the lower circle, still did it on this side. Oh man. There we go. And the width of the lower circle should be wider than the width of the circle in 1, right? All right, so that when I go to draw 2, I am taking the halfway position between the width of 1, and again, this is just a guesstimate, and the width of 2. All right, so 2 should start up here. And I know even though the marker is there and that wasn't the plan. It's not that I'm using the marker as the point to make the curve. All right, so now what that means is I've created 1. I'm using pose to pose. I've created 1, I've created 5, and then I've created the halfway position. So now I need to create 3, and 3, so let's just make this unseen. 3 is halfway between 2 and 5. So I'm just gonna make it seen again. Push 5 across, duplicate, erase, or I could delete the drawing and simply now draw again. So this is 2, this is 5, and I'm gonna go halfway in between again. Alright, let's guesstimate. I am not using these markers as a point to make it my midpoint. It's just so happening. It's just working out that way, okay? I promise. All right, so now we need to create 4, and 4 is, let's look again, 4 is halfway between 3 and 5. So that's what we're gonna do. Easy peasy, right? All right, turn it on. Paint, and again halfway, 3, 7, 4, 0, okay, 4. There's pretty not much halfway between those two. Alright, the circles or the ovals doesn't really matter because right now we're using them as guides. Alright, so I can press play and see how does it look. 7, repeat, play, oh there. Alright, so just testing it to feel, does the volume feel right? Does it feel like it's actually, you know, going in that anticipation pose? Alright. And then of course with 6 is going to be a lot higher and stretched than 1, right? So what I'm doing, I'm just pulling back my onion skins just so that I can see drawing 1. And I want it to be a little thinner, a little more stretched than drawing 1. If I wanted, I could probably select these and turn it in this direction as well, but I'm only doing this section. You guys are gonna have to figure out what to do or how you want it to be done, right? We're going by the reference. So the lead animator has the character upright. So that's what I'm doing. All right, so I can press play again. All right. Now after this, we create a new layer. And this one is the actual flower sack. And it is retracing each one of those drawings. But now we're drawing the flower sack because now we have those ovals as guides. See, not so bad, is it? I'm gonna use a different color just so that it's easy to track. So now I can draw. I'll use, and forgive me, my drawing isn't so fabulous, but you get the picture. We should also be tracking what's happening with his feet and his hands. I don't know why I'm saying his, but feels like a his, right? Feels like a guy. And drawing 2 again. Just using the white oval as a guide. All right, now if you remember, we should also be tracking what's happening with those hands. So really I shouldn't have created 2 just yet, but I'm gonna leave it because I'm feeling a little lazy today. All right, so in 5, he's totally squished, right? But his hands are also supposed to be facing inwards to give that anticipation for the jump. So what that means is little by little these hands are supposed to be coming in. So when I click on 3, and I trace along that, and it doesn't have to be an exact trace either. The hands should be taking its time to come in. Maybe even tilting those feet up, right? I'm sure we're gonna time lapse in a minute now. All right. All right, so now I want to press play, and I can now make this guy unseen, 2 circles unseen. So once we press play, we've got our flower sack. And my recommendation is, even after this, because I've always been showing you, do the sketch version first, get the timing down. And then after that, you could do another drawing layer. You could do another drawing, I don't know, refined or something, but, and you actually now use rectangles, you know, something that, let's use the same blue. Let's use red. All right, let's use red. Now let's use blue. We could use a rectangle now. And then you can now fill it in, you know, contour editor. And remember, you can now add points. So if you wanted that, you know, that look. All right. I swear the most inappropriate song is stuck in my head. I'm trying not to sing it, so I will not. All right, and then so now you can create a more refined version of your flower sack. Remember, the sketch was just a sketch, just again as a guide, so that you can, there we go. And we could have filled it in. Let's fill it with some light, and then if you like, could always use an oval, an ellipse for, or you could use the polyline to create that, anything. All right, let's use an ellipse for one of them. Forgot about the blue. So just little things like that. Fill it with the white again. Give it a nice little line. Or I could have actually also created a line. Curve it. Use my snap to contour tool or option. Snap it in there. Nope, not snapped. I think it's not snapping because of the fill. Why isn't this thing snapping? Sometimes I find it doesn't snap when you are zoomed out. I don't know. Let's just turn that off. All right. Now we can fill it. And of course, by now we know once we fill something, we separate it, right? Take it out of the line art and we drop it in the color art. Make sure you come back. And that's it for this lesson. So just going again, you're going to use first, so just continue using the reference for the jump. What is happening with the lower half of the flower sack versus the top half of the flower sack? What's happening? And you would have already planned this out in your pencil test, right? What's happening when it landed? Then just for the execution of it, we do the 2 circles, and you do the 2 circles for the entire animation, all nodes to frame 21. Then we create the sketch flower sack, and then we create the refined flower sack. And remember, you can also have your animation on 1s, 2s, 3s. That's your decision. You'll have to decide on what you want your animation to look like, or how fast or how slow it's gonna be moving. All right, so that's it. All right, so see what I mean? Wasn't that exciting? Wasn't that awesome? Wasn't that like incredible? Oh man, incredible. I just said incredible, and then I thought of the word Incredibles, and then of course I'm thinking about animation Incredibles. Anywho, let's not digress. Let's not divert. Okay? All right. So, that was really cool. You get to actually make a bag of flour look like it has some kind of personality and it did a jump. No. As usual, as I've always been saying to you in these tutorials, do it again, right? And then do it again. And then, once you start getting proficient at it, start challenging yourself. Allow the flour sack to do different things, do different emotions, do different activities, and get that done, and you'll be surprised. Your portfolio will be really, really nice once you've completed the flour sack. So challenge yourself. All right.